Good day to each and everyone, especially to Ma'am Shara Ginaldo. Good afternoon, ma'am. So today we are going to tackle all about the principles of design. The presenters are Lovely Rose Tabialan, Judy May Talose, Melchan Tuso, and Giselle Villar. History. So the formalist philosophies and theories of the European immigrant artists and teachers had a profound influence on the American art beginning in the early 1950s. It was the genesis of the new abstract expressionism in American art that rejected the country's traditional narrative realism. Instead, it now stressed formalism, and it brought the center of the art world from Europe to New York City. So the foundation concept that was formulated by Johannes Itten for the Bauhaus of curriculum, with many modifications, is still used today in most college and art school fine art programs. The formal elements and principles of design remains the same, but are now also applied to time-based electronic media such as video and digital animation. So what is the significance of the design principles? So the design principles help to keep important values front and center in the design process. As it is said that design influences what we think, the way we feel, and the decision we make. The principles of design are made up of various mixes of elements of design all put together in one picture, making the picture look better. When more than one principle is used together, an artist can create artwork that will amaze people and get good publicity, hopefully benefiting the artist who made them. Some examples is Leonardo da Vinci, the original Renaissance man, who was a masterpiece such as the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper, and the Lady with an Ermine, but also for his drawings of technologies that were 500 years in the future. And Michelangelo was a triple threat, a painter, the Sistine selling, a sculptor, the David and Petta, and architect of St. Peter Basilica in Rome. So what is the principle of design? The principles of design are the rules a designer must follow to create an effective and attractive composition. The principles of design open our eyes to the beauty that is all around us. It is the building blocks of understanding and creating art, crafts, and design. Just as the letters of any alphabet are fundamental to understanding the language, principle of design is fundamental to understanding the language of art. The fundamental principles of design are unity and harmony, rhythm, variation, balance and proportion, emphasis and subordination. A design doesn't have to strictly follow these rules to be good. Some absolutely mind-blowing designs ignore one or more of the principles of design in order to create an eye-catching and effective work. Graphic design, like any discipline, adheres to strict rules that work beneath the surface to make the work stable and balanced. If the design is missing that balance, it will be weak and ineffective. Design differs from art in that it has to have a purpose. Visually, this functionality is interpreted by making sure an image has a center of attraction and a point of focus.
Good day everyone. My topic is all about unity and harmony. Unity is the overall cohesiveness of a composition that been created with the elements of art. Unity means repetition equal to unity. Unity is a subject to your certain piece. These consider the most important principles. These hands are the example of unity, an overall cohesiveness of a piece. You can see the color scheme, which is color black with a combination of gray. When you only saw color black to a piece of hands, it seems so boring. A texture, shape, and form of hands which it has a line and patterns, all elements of a piece, is at one piece. Harmony is uses of elements of art to emphasize the similar parts of the elements. Harmony is a togetherness through difference. This photo is example of harmony. If you have a car which is color red, you also wear red clothes according to the color of your car. That's harmony. Unity and harmony with color and value, texture, shape and forms, and lines. Color or value deals with patterns and schemes. Unity can be achieved with just one color, but harmony is created with a good color scheme. For example of having a blue shirt, blue pants, and a blue shoes. It sounds flat and weird. Instead, let's make it blue shirt and a black pants to give additional harmony and to achieve color scheme. Texture is similar or same texture used within a piece to create a sense of unity. Be careful too much unity can result flatness. Variety is needed for visual interest. If everything is wrapped within a piece, that's unity with elements of texture. And if you're going to use smooth and everything in a piece, that's texture which creates unity to your piece. Unity and harmony with shape and form, similar use of shape or forms to create sense of unity. Uses of the same shapes and forms over and over again become boring. Using rounded or sharp edges or creating similarities with the different forms create harmony. For example, this photo circles in a different shapes. This piece also use different patterns and forms. Because if you only use circles in one piece, it seems like flat and boring and not so attractive. Line, which is implied or actual line. Line are most basic of all the elements of design. Horizontal, vertical, curving, and diagonals each has an impact on how you perceive space and an element of design. Lines can stand alone or be part of another graphic element. They are versatile and one of the building blocks of graphics design that can communicate emotion and information.
And here's another elements of the principles of design, the rhythm and the variation. First, I will discuss the rhythm. Rhythm is a principle of design that suggests movement or action. It is a visual tempo of a combination of elements when used repeatedly, and with variation, it gives the feeling of organized movement. It is usually achieved through repetition of lines, shapes, colors, and more. Rhythm in the principles of design is usually hidden in works of art and is not as obvious as the design principles of repetition and pattern. How often something repeats and the intensity of its contrast creates rhythm. For example, the diagonal lines. The diagonal lines aren't arranged in a specific pattern. Instead, there's a repetition of the elements with variations. Variation. It means to change one or more of the 5 elements of design. Design variation codes are a marker that 2 or more designs can share, so that one design can be substituted for another sharing the same variation code. Design variation codes are created each time designs are uploaded.
So this is one of the principles of design, the balance. So balance gives a feeling of stability. So according to Merriam-Webster Santiago Webster Dictionary, balance is to make an equal in amount, degree, or status, and even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. In the principles of design, it is relevant to never forget that every element you place on a page has a weight. The weight can come from color, sizes, or texture. Just like you wouldn't put all your furnitures in one corner of a room, you can crowd all your heavy elements in one area of your composition. So without balance, your audience will feel as if their eyes is sliding off the page. Our bodies are an example of a formal balance. If you draw an imaginary line from your head to your toes, dividing your body in half, you will be pretty much the same on both sides. So in the principles of design, we have three types of balance: the symmetrical balance, radial balance, and asymmetrical balance. So when we say symmetrical balance, it is the simplest kind of balance. An item that is symmetrically balanced is the same on both sides. So symmetrical designs creates balance through equally weighted elements aligned on either side of a center line. Symmetrical designs are always pleasing, if not occasionally boring. So these are the examples of symmetrical balance. And the next one is the radial balance. So radial balance have a center point. Radial balance is having a visual elements that arrange around a central point in the composition. It is often radially balanced designs are circular. And this is an example of radial balance. And the next one is the asymmetrical balance. So asymmetrical balance creates a feeling of equal weight on both sides even though the sides do not look the same. So asymmetrical design also are called informal design because they suggest movement and spontaneity. Asymmetrical balance is the hardest type of balance to achieve and often takes experimenting or moving elements around until balance is achieved. On the other hand, asymmetrical design uses opposite weight, like constructing one large element with several small elements to create a composition that is not even but still has a equilibrium. Here are the examples of the asymmetrical balance. So next will be the proportion. So when we say proportion, it refers to the relationship between one part of a design and another part or to the whole design. It is a comparison of sizes, shapes, and quantities. Proportions refers to the dimensions of a composition and relationships between weight, width, and depth. How proportion is used will affect how realistic or stylized something seems. Proportion also describes how the sizes of a different part of piece of art or design relate to each other. So the example of proportion is here. So what is the point? So that ends our report.